Fans, for those that have been following the, I'm going to call it the saga of the electrical bizarre incident of Lil Red. It's 1:07 p.m. on Saturday the 9th, I think it's the 9th of December. After a month of hard work, troubleshooting, I probably have memorized all the circuit diagrams in the factory service manual. Replacing the battery harness, alternator harness, and ignition switch, which is the ignition where the key goes in. It's called an ignition cylinder lock. We just started Lil Red after a month after the incident. Lil Red is no attempt, of course, to be made to start it. I came out and did a very slow, methodical process where I put the battery on a stand right here by the car, did not put it in the car, connected a jumper cable from the positive terminal of the battery to the positive terminal of the battery harness, which goes directly to the starter. I took a black, about a 14 gauge wire, touched it to the negative terminal of the battery, and then touched it to the negative cable, the ground cable that grounds to the frame and to the motor, and there were no sparks, there was nothing strange. So then the next step, I took the jumper cables, connected both of them, the positives, then connected the negative to the battery. It's not even in the car yet, and then connected the other negative jumper cable to the harness, negative harness. No problems, no spark. I went in and next step, I put the key in. The security system light started flashing. I then came out and knowing and believing that we solved there was a major short to ground that caused the incident, and what some gurus on Facebook, Z32 Tech Help page, think that when the alternator shorted, is what we suspect, that it took the battery voltage down below 12, around 12 volts. The engine control unit, or the computer in the car, shuts off. So it just turned off the Z, and that's exactly the symptom. It was as if I reached down and turned the key off while I was driving the Z. That's how it died. No hiccups, no acting strange. It was running perfect, and then it just died instantly. That was a month ago yesterday. And so the fact that we're sitting here, standing outside Lil Red, she's idling. She did not want to start. She was pissed off, excuse my French. She was really PO'd because the last time it ran, that incident happened. So the ECU is like, I didn't have proper voltage. I don't know what the heck's going on. And so it takes a little while for the engine control unit to look at voltages and look at airflow, to look at fuel, air-fuel mixture, and all the other sensors, and go, okay, everything's okay. Because when the ECU shut down the car, everything was not okay. So when I first started it, Lil Red, it took quite a few tries to start. It didn't backfire any weird thing like that, but it just didn't want to start. She was just struggling, idling rough, and then you can hear it now. This is how Lil Red sounds. This is phenomenal. So still a lot of work to do. I have to put Lil Red back together. As you can see, I'll walk around and show you. We had to remove, this is the hood release cable. So the hood latch is off right now. I repainted it black while it was off because we had to move that cable out of the way of the kick panel to pull the kick panel fuse block out, pull a bunch of relays out of the back of it, test them, bulb check relay, ignition relay, the circuit breaker, and all those checked good. So we also checked every fuse down there, about 35 fuses. We checked all of these fuses. We didn't pull these relays, but we would if we thought they were indicated. They weren't. Of course, we checked over there. You see those green fuses, those are fusible links. And then there's a blue one, that's the big fusible link for the battery. So whatever, we did a lot of things. But I believe that the ignition switch was part of the problem. I think that the alternator shorted, but it might have shorted because the ignition switch shorted. When we did install the new ignition switch, we took the old one out and did some troubleshooting on it. We designed a switch matrix where you label all the wires, and then you put the key in different positions and measure which wires are connected. And in the start position, there was a wire missing. There's supposed to be 4 wires connected, there were 3. That's a problem. I couldn't trace that out through the wiring diagram to go, this is exactly how that contributed to the problem, or was it a result of the alternator shorting? But we believe the root cause is the alternator shorted to ground. It caused all kinds of problems. Took the battery down below 12 volts. The engine control unit shut off the Z, and the ignition switch either was part of it, part of the actual root cause, or it was a cascade event, and the ignition switch got shorted during that event. The good news is the Z is sitting here idling, so more to come. I'll do another video when we take Lil Red out. Tomorrow we're going to do some sequential workups. We're going to drive around the block, back to the garage, around the neighborhood, back to the garage, and do concentric circles. And hopefully by tomorrow afternoon we're going to cruise in Lil Red out to Lake Chandler for like an hour drive. But one step at a time. Lil Red is running after a month of intensive work, a lot of money and expensive parts, tons and tons of labor, over 40 hours of labor I put in. And of course it was all worth it because Lil Red's running right now. And we'll talk to you soon.